Hello everyone. In the past session, we saw how to give the IP address to the node. And once we give the Ethernet IP and the router ID, node goes on a reboot. Once the node is reachable, we need to configure the following steps. First step, to configure the interface configuration for DCN loopback, label unicast loopback, and VLAN to the particular interface. The second step is to configure the OSPF. The third step would be the route map configuration. Fourth step is BGP configuration. Now let us see the demo setup with A3 and A4 nodes. The interface are connected as shown, and we have loopback IP same as the router ID of the each node. Then we have the interface IP details for both the nodes. Then we have given the label unicast IP address. In the above we can see we have defined the loopback ID for the DCN as 1. Then we have given the loopback ID for the label unicast as 2 in number. Then we have the details of the area, as our both the nodes A3 and A4 are in the same area. We have defined here as area 10. Then we have given the VLAN details for the interface configuration, and we have autonomous system number as 100, as both of these nodes are in the same AS. So this is the BSNL MAAN setup what we have. Now we'll start with the interface configuration. First we need to log into the node, enter the command telnet following with the IP address, enter the credentials, enter the login name, enter the password. Once we log into the node, we need to go to configure terminal, enter the command. Now if you see, we are in the configure terminal. Here we need to enter the command as interface loopback, enter the loopback ID. Now we are in the configuration interface loopback. Here we need to enter the IP address of the DCN loopback details. The command would be IP address, enter the IP address, following with the net mask, enter, then give the command as no shut, then exit. So this was the configuration command for the DCN loopback address. Next we need to configure the label unicast loopback address. Enter into the configuration terminal mode, give the command as interface loopback, enter the loopback ID. So here I'll enter the loopback ID as 2 for the label unicast, enter. Now enter the IP address. The command would be IP address, following with the subnet mask, enter, then give the command as no shut, then exit. So here now we have configured the configuration of label unicast loopback address. So once we configure this, next step is to assign the IP address and the VLAN to the particular interface. As we are in a configuration terminal, enter into the particular interface. The command would be interface, as it is a gigabit Ethernet port. Give the command as gigabit Ethernet, enter the port number, click on enter. So once we enter, we will be inside the configuration of that particular interface. Next we need to enter the command as set MPLS enable, enter. Next enter the command as no shut, enter the VLAN details, give the command as VLAN and enter the number VLAN. Then we need to give the IP address to the particular interface. The command would be IP address, enter the IP address details, following with the subnet mask. Next give the command again as set MPLS enable, again give the command as no shut, then exit. So this was the configuration part for the interface configuration. First we have configured the loopback interface for the DCN. Next we have configured the loopback interface for the label unicast, and here we have configured for the interface gigabit for the particular interface. We have entered the VLAN, we have given the IP address. So now to see the output of this, and here show IP interface brief, enter the command. So we can see the interface, we have created a loopback. Okay, the state is up, and you can see the IP address I have entered. Then we can see for the interface, gigabit interface 1/1/1. Here also the state is up. You can see the IP address details. Next, the loopback 2 is for the label unicast. You can see the state is also up here, and the IP address details are as follows. So once we configure the interface configuration, the next step would be to configure the OSPF. Enter the command, go to configure terminal. Here enter the command as router OSPF, enter. Next, here we need to enter the DCN loopback address. The command would be router ID following with the DCN loopback IP address. Enter. Then next we need to showcase the network which we have configured. That would be our DCN loopback and the label unicast. So the next step is to configure the network related information. So here first I'll give the command as net, enter the IP details following with the area, enter. So we have configured the network related information of the gigabit interface. Next we need to do the same for the loopback of DCN as well as the label unicast. Enter the command as net, enter the IP details following with the area, enter. Now we need to do for the label unicast, enter the command network following with the IP address, then area, enter the area details. So once we enter these details, exit, then click on exit again. Okay, so now we need to configure the VLAN parameters for this OSPF configuration. So what we need to do, we need to enter into configuration terminal. So here enter the command as VLAN, give the VLAN details. By default, the OSPF configuration of the VLAN will be in the broadcast. We need to make it to the point-to-point network. So enter. So here we need to enter the command as IP OSPF network point-to-point. So entering these details, end the session. Now, if we want to see the output of these OSPF configuration, enter the command as show run OSPF. So we can see the details. The same configuration should be configured on the other end of the node. Next, if I want to see the neighboring information of the OSPF, enter the command as show IP OSPF neighbor. So here I can see the details of the neighbor node. The same configuration should be followed on the other end of the node. Then the neighborship will be formed between the two nodes. So this was the configuration for the OSPF. Next, we need to configure the route map. Enter into the configure terminal mode. So here I need to deny the label unicast. So the command would be route map. Then give the name for the particular route map. I'll enter the name. Then give the command as deny. Now here when I enter the command as deny, this command denies the redistribution of the route. So once I enter this, click on enter. So here I need to enter the command as match, as this defines that we are performing the matching operation. Next I need to enter the command as community, as this defines that community related configuration we are doing. And the next command would be to enter the com number, that is the community number. Give the command as com num. Next, enter the value of the community number value. Once we enter the community number value, enter, then click on enter. So if I want to see the output of this command, I need to give the command as show route map. So we can see the details as follows. So once we configure the route map, the next step would be to configure the BGP configuration. To configure BGP, go to configure terminal, enter the command as router BGP following with the AS number. Next, we need to enter the DCN loopback address. Give the command as BGP router ID, enter the DCN loopback address, enter. Next step would be to enter the neighbor information of ABR router. The command would be to enter neighbor. The detail should be the IP address of the DCN loopback of the ABR. Enter the IP address following with the remote AS number. Enter the remote AS number and enter. Next, we need to enter the neighboring information of the ABR router with the DCN loopback of update source. So the command would be neighbor. Enter the details of the ABR router DCN loopback, and we need to give for the update source. So when we enter the command as update source, This means that we are entering the source address configuration for routing updates. So we need to enter the IP address, enter, then click on exit. Next we need to configure for the address family of IPv4. Enter the command as router BGP with the AS number. Here we need to enter the details of the address family of IPv4. Enter the command as address family IPv4, enter. Here we need to enter the details of the neighboring ABR DCN loopback IP address. The command would be neighbor, enter the IP address 90, then give the command as activate. So when I give the command as activate, this means I am enabling the default capabilities of the peer addresses. Then enter the command. Next step would be to enter the details of the route map. Give the command as neighbor, enter the ABR DCN loopback IP address. Now give the command as route map, enter the name of the route map which we have defined. Then give the command as either in or out. Here I am letting it in, so I am entering the command as in. Enter. Once we enter this, enter the command as exit. So we need to enable few of the address families. So in the configure terminal, enter into the router BGP AS number, enter the command as router BGP following with the AS number, enter. So here we need to enable first the VPN v4 of the address family. So give the command as address family VPN v4, then exit. Then we need to enable address family of L2 VPN, exit from here again. Next to enable is to the address family of IPv4 label unicast, enter, then enter the command as end. So now we have configured the BGP. To see the output of this BGP configuration, enter the command as show a running configuration of BGP, enter. So we can see the details here. So if I want to see the summary, then enter the command as show IP BGP summary. So here we can see the neighboring router details information as well. The same configuration should be configured on the other end of the node as well. So these were the steps to configure DCN.